New parak in Makkos. This is exciting. Velo and Elokim. Third parak of Makkos. We're starting from the Mishnah. Yeah, we are in the Mishnah here. We are in Yud Aleph, third parak. The Elu and Haloikin. The Mishnah is giving us an incomplete list of all the people whom, upon doing Averis, all types of Averis, which you get malkos for. If a person does those Averis, you get malkos. When I say incomplete, these are chidushim. In other words, there are reasons why one would think that there are no malkos, and the Mishnah tells us that there are malkos. We're going to see this in the Gemara also. The first part of the list are things that are chayv chorus. There's a discussion in the Gemara whether a person who's chayv chorus and not chayv misas beis din. Let's say somebody, the first one has relations with his sister. Terrible thing. Chayv chorus, both partners, but there's no oynish beis din. There's no skila, no sreifa, no chenik, no hereg, nothing. In such a case, yeah, brother and sister that just love each other too much, the wrong direction. What about them? They also get malkos. They get chorus. And besides that, if they were warned, if you do this with your sister, with your brother, you get malkos, they do get malkos. And that's a chiddush. So let's start the list. Velo and Elokin, habo al achoy soy. By the way, it means both of them, him and her. Relations, illicit relations between brother and sister. Val achois oviv, the achois, the sister of his father, the aunt, the father's sister. Val achois ima. All these do not have misa b'de odom. All the common denominator between all these sexual things are what? That you have kores, but not Mrs. Beis Din. And if you're warned, you'll get malkos, you will get malkos. Val achois imo, his mother's sister. Val achois ishto, sister-in-law. What kind of sister-in-law? Achois ishto, your wife's sister. Val eshes ochiv. Eshes ochiv is the brother's wife. No yibum, right? In the case where yibum does not apply, yeah, there's no parav. It's either a mitzvah or a koris. Eshes ochiv. They have children, right? And he died. Your brother died. Chlila. Sister left. Excuse me. The sister-in-law is left almona. Not allowed to touch her. Not allowed to be with her. It's chiyuv koris. And if you are with her, you both get malkos. Well, eshes ochi oviv. Eshes ochi oviv is again eshes achi oviv. You have a father. You have an uncle. It's your father's sister-in-law. Your father's sister-in-law. Your father's brother's wife. So her and her nephew-in-law, if they have relations, they both get malkos besides the chorus. Ve'ala nida. Nida is chorus, as we all know. That's something much more common. And what's there? It's chayv malkos. If a couple had relations while she's nida, what happens then? There's malkos besides the chorus. Now we are done with the chorus bit for now. Yeah, that's the end of the first list. Here comes the second list. What about all these surei kohanim? First wide line. End of the first wide line. Almona l'kohen gadol. A kohen gadol has relations with an almona, right? So now a kohen gadol with almona, even without marrying her, the mere fact he had relations with an almona, him and her are both chayiv, not kores, not Mrs. Beis Din, but what are the chayiv? Malkos. It's a regular love, run of the mill love. You chayiv kores, love, lamed aleph vav, not love. Yeah, you chiyuv elavim is chiyuv malkos. Grusha v'chalutza lekohen hediot. Grusha v'chalutza lekohen hediot. Now, a kohen hediot who married a grusha, when is he chayiv malkos? I checked the Rambam just to make sure what I thought was true, and I'm happy I saw it in the Rambam. A kohen hediot who married the grusha is chayiv if, listen to this, they have to do two things. How to get malkos in two easy steps. First of all, he has to marry her halachically, and the kiddushin apply. Yeah, kiddushim toifsim b'chayv elavim upasken, and then they had relations once at least. Then the chayv malkos after asro. Okay, who gets it? The grusha and the kohen hediot. If he has a relation, the kohen and the grusha, there's no malkos. I mean, it's tam lo tzanua v'chule v'chule exeres, but there's no grusha is yikach to take. He's not allowed to get. Lo yikochu. They should not take. They should not marry a grusha, and therefore, if he did, the kohen, both him and her are chayiv malkos if they got married and had bia. A chalutza is very difficult over here. As I was like vacillating yesterday, and along with me are all the Rishonim. Rashi says grusha v'chalutza lekohen hediot. If a kohen hediot had grusha, which is also chalutza, is chayiv one lav for grusha and chalutza. Why? Because grusha v'chalutza are learned from the same posuk. Yeah, Chalutza is deoraisa, but chalutza sounds like it's a deoraisa, but it's a derivative of grusha. The Rishonim, Tosfos, Ritva, many others, they ask Rashi, what are you talking about? It says mefurish in Kiddushin, we recently saw that chalutza is only the Rabbanon. So most Rishonim say chalutza is stuck here, stam. It's really not an Isur deoraisa. Here we're talking about Isur deoraisa. Chalutza is the odd one out. Chalutza sticks out as something strange. Or Tosfos says chalutza means enochinami malkos midarabonon. There is a concept called malkos midarabonon. How is it called? Makos mardus. Makos mardus is when Rabbanon give malkos to a person, and there's no set amount. It could be 5, it could be 50. As long once a person says, "I'm sorry, I won't do it again," they realize they really did tshuva. He got the message, hard and strong. Then in enochinami, that's called makos mardus. So chalutza could be the Rabbanon. That's a mainstream opinion. And why? It's not a real grusha. It's like a mini grusha, similar to grusha, right? And it's only chiyuv d'Rabbanan. Now, mamzeres v'nesina le-Yisrael, right? Mamzeres v'nesina le-Yisrael. A regular guy, regular Jew, nice Jewish boy, married a mamzeres, not bia. He married and had relations with a mamzeres. That's an isur d'oraisa, lo yova bakol, on both genders. Nesina is also an isur d'oraisa, apparently, although it happened in the times of Yoshua. But really, the concept of Nesin is already from Moshe Rabbeinu, that the Nosin, a person who is, what you call it, a fake convert kind of thing. Not any fake convert. Don't try and apply it to today's fake converts. That's another shayla. There's a specific type of fake converts that we have an Isur d'oraisa to marry. They have the same status as Mamzerim, meaning a ger could marry them. Bas Yisrael and Nosin or Mamzer, the other way around. Bas Yisrael marrying a Nosin or Mamzer. Oh, here comes the Chiddush. What's the Chiddush in the second list? The first list, the Chiddush was Yechav Kores and also Malkos. Here comes the star of the second list of Isurei Chitun, Chasnus. Almona ve'grusha choyovin aleh mishum shnei sheimois. Grusha v'chalutza eno chayav al mishum achas bilvad. Which means, as we said yesterday, Almona ve'grusha, Mr. Kohen Godol married a woman that has a long and hard history. As you said, she has issues with Kohanim. What happened to her? She married a regular guy, not a Kohen, and he died. Miskena, what can she do? What did she do after that? She remarried. Unfortunately, the marriage didn't work right. So now she's Grusha. They're not Kohanim, regular guys. Now she has two issues. Could be a lovely lady, a big tzadekis. She happens to be Almona and a Grusha in one person. What's her name? Shprinz Abela. What's her status? Double status. She has two issues, Almona and Grusha. And who did she marry now? She went and she married the Kohen Gadol. So now the Kohen Gadol and her, once married and had Bia, how many malkos are the chayev? 2 sets of malkos. Although she's one person, but she's really 2 in the price of 1. She personifies 2 different personas, in the show. What is she? Almona and Grusha. So Lamaisa is having relations with one person that carries with it 2 isurim, right? You eat, chazir and the nevela in one go, and it, 2 things. Same thing over here is chayv on 2, and she's also chayv. As opposed to grusha v'chalutza and chayv l'mshumachas bilvad. As opposed to, let's say, a different woman, she was divorced, and then what happened? She got married, and the husband died, and it was chalitza. She was childless and almono, and then she's now chalutza, right? Was taken off the shoe. What happens then? She's now grusha and chalutza. Now she married a kohen, lav dafka gadol, any kohen. So now, according to Rashi, there are 2 isur d'oraisa. Let's leave the other rishonim. According to Rashi, grusha and chalutza are 2 isur d'oraisa in one person. So maybe now the kohen should be chayiv 2. We say no. Now you only chayiv 1. Why? Because chalutza is a derivative of grusha. Because we learn, from the words, ve'isha grusha me'isha. It says in the Torah, grusha, and it says ve'isha grusha. What did you think? It's when we say grusha, of course it's a woman. You thought we're talking about a chair, a table, a UFO. Of course, it's an isha. What's a chiddush ve'isha? It's coming to tell me that a grusha is not only grusha, also chalutza. So because chalutza is learned from grusha, is derived from grusha, it's really all the same section. It's all one general idea of grusha, and therefore the kohen is only chayiv 1, and she's only chayiv 1 if they marry. Ad kan we saw yesterday. That's a 2 dots. Now we're talking about more isur deoraisa that carry with them the isur, the oynesh malkos. Hatomesh she'ochel es hakodesh. That's going to be a very nice tour of Isur D'Oraisa. A Tome Shochel is a Kodesh. A person who's Tome, he himself is Tome. How did he become Tome? That's a good question, but a million ways to become Tome. Touch the mace, okay? He became Tome, Shochel is a Kodesh, and he ate what? Korban. He's a Kohen eating Chatos, he's Israel, who eats Shlomim, and he himself is Tome. That's an Isur Kores. Yeah, V'abo El HaMikdash Tome. He came to Beis HaMikdash. Tome, he was Tome. He didn't go to the mikveh. He touched the sheretz yesterday, and now he's going gingerly stepping into Beis Hamikdash. Betuma, Isur Kores. Also, chiyuv malkos. That's again back to the chorus group. Although there's chorus, there's also chiyuv malkos. If he was warned, hey, Mister, you're a Tome. Why are you going to Beis Hamikdash? And he says, I don't care. I want to go to Beis Hamikdash because I feel at home while I'm Tome. There's a chiyuv chorus plus oynish malkos. Voichel chele v'dam. A person who eats chelev and dam, what about him? Chelev and blood is chayiv kores and is chayiv malkos. He was warned for malkos. He's going to get malkos. V'noisar, a person eats a korban after the korban is not supposed to be eaten anymore. Overdue. Yeah. What's the expired date of a korban? Most korbanos, not all, is yom v'layla, right? It's daybreak already. You brought it Sunday, right? Sunday afternoon, Monday morning, not allowed to eat it anymore. And he did. He ate the korban after the time is over. Okay, Shlomim, it's 2 days. B'chol is 2 days. Most korbanos is 1 day. You ate, a korban after the halachic expired time. You chayev kores and you chayev malkos. Upigul, what's pigul? Let's say the person who brought the korban, the kohen, when he brought the korban, he had the wrong kind of machshava. He said, I'm shechting it, thinking and saying, I'm going to do the zrikas adam, the further avoido, or to eat it too late. That's pigul. Pigul, in his mind, he says, I will eat it later. I'm not going to eat it today. I'm going to eat it in 2 days' time. Or I won't do zrika sadam today. I'll do the throwing of the blood tomorrow. That korban itself, by the way, to be mefagel is not a chiyuv kores. It's a common mistake. But the meat of the pigul, he continues to bring the korban. Nobody knows. He's lying to everybody. And then he tells people, this meat is pigul. Whoever eats this piece of meat, which had the wrong machshava while shechted, while doing the avodah, that meat, if you eat that, you chayiv kores and you chayiv malkos. That's pigul. Vetome, the person now, he is eating something that's tome. Beforehand, we spoke about a person who's tome, he's eating a good korban. Now you're eating a korban that's tome. You have a korban, the korban, Oleinu, in Beis HaMikdash, as much as there were nisim, there weren't always nisim everywhere. And let's say you have a dead sheretz that you have a dead mouse, touched the bosor, the meat of the korban. Oh, you're not allowed to eat that korban. And if you ate it, you chayiv malkos, besides everything else. V'ashoichet umale b'chutz. Oh, after the Parsha of Yom Kippur, the Torah is telling us, Achre Mois, shoichet umale b'chutz, a person who shechts a korban, or brings the korban up on the Mizbeach, where? Anywhere outside Beis HaMikdash, even in Har Habais, even in Har Nof, even in Har Choma, even in Los Angeles, wherever you bring the korban outside Beis HaMikdash, you are chayev, what? You chayev malkos, besides the chorus, you chayev malkos. These are all very important ideas. Now, va'oichel chometz bepesach. There's a holiday called Passover, in which we're not allowed to eat leavened bread. Yeah, you know about that. Yeah, there is such a thing. Yeah. It's a chiddush. Lots of chiddushim here. Whoever eats chometz and Pesach, chores and malkos, you were warned. If you eat that nice burekas, no, it's not gebrokt. It's really chometz. And you're eating the burekas nevertheless, so you chayiv malkos besides the chores. No. Male, he's maktir the korban to the mizbeach outside. I'm sorry if it wasn't clear. The guy built a mizbeach in Park Ayalon or in Central Park. And what? And in Gana Pa'amon, he has a nice mizbech over there, and he brings the korban, L'Hashem Shamayim, and he brings it up on the fire. He has a pyre over there on the mizbech outside Beis HaMikdash. He's mal of the korban. That looks very nice, but it's chiyuv kores and malkos. Both, either Yechav and either. Yechav and either. Also Zoyrek, I don't know what it says. On each one Yechav. It's Mefurish in the Gemara. Weiter. Now, a person who eats or drinks, by the way, eating and drinking are chiyuv kores, and and also chiyuv malkos. And also, if you do malacha, a person does malacha in Yom Kippur, chayiv kores, and you are also chayiv malkos if you warned for malkos. This is definitely an incomplete list, because let's on Shabbos you can also say the same. Shabbos also chiyuv kores, right? We're not discussing it now. V'mefatim es shemen. Oh, this is something a little bit less common. Mefatim es shemen. You know about shemen and mishcha. Shemen and mishcha. Speaking Tisha B'av, we're missing the shemen and mishcha of Bais Rishon. Shemen and mishcha was the shemen that was created by Moshe Rabbeinu already, and it lasted for hundreds of years. And the shemen and mishcha was the oil in which they used to anoint the kohanim gdoilim, right? And Yoshiyahu, not the Novi, Yoshiyahu with an aleph, he did it at the end of Bais Rishon. So the person who is mefatim es shemen, let's say a guy, a professor in Hebrew U decided, or a rabbi, they found out of a lot of investigations. Yeah, they inquired and they realized this is exactly how shemen mishcha was done. There's a specific way. There are like four things. There are four ikrim that you cook in order to create shemen mishcha. Shemen mishcha is not stam olive oil. It's olive oil that four different ingredients, four different roots, bulbs, roots were cooked in it, representing the Dali Dimois, I heard once. Basically, and it gets a good smell of those nice smelling herbs or roots, and that's shemen mishcha. Oh, I want to do the same in my house to show some kind of show and tell for the summer camp. How about that? Let's make a new shemen mishcha to show everybody how shemen mishcha look like exactly, and we'll do it down to the T. That's an isur kores. Isur kores, but matkunto lo ta'asu kamau state in Parshas Kisisa. You're not allowed to make a copy, so to speak, to imitate shemen mishcha. And if you do, that's an isur kores plus you chayav malkos. Ouch. So don't do that at home or in the summer camp. Now, mefatim es aktoiris. There's a ktoiris. We all know that the ktoiris, all these 11 ingredients, was brought. The ktoiris, incense, it's called something like frankincense, right? Beseder, bekitzer, ktoiris, all these English words, beseder, fine. Ktoiris is insane. Frankenstein, whatever. But ktoiris, it's something else. The ktoiris was nicer than Frankenstein. Ktoiris is the good smelling zach made out of 11 different herbs. 10 of them smelled nicely, one of them didn't. And you want to do exactly the same in your house, or in a museum, to show everyone how the Ktoris was. Don't. You have to miss at least once, make a bit of a change, because if you do it exactly like Moshe Rabbeinu did, if you manage to, or like they did it to Beis Hamikdash, Beis Galmu, So what about that? You're not doing anything good. It's chayav kores, and you have malkos. If you want for malkos, you get malkos. Don't try it at home. What about if let's say you get hold of shemen mishcha in some kind of archaeological diggings? You manage to find the real shemen mishcha, the original one of Moshe Rabbeinu that was hidden by Yeshayahu. On your next trip to the Kotel tunnels, you find shemen mishcha. Let's say you know it's shemen mishcha in theory, and you're sach, and you say, "Oh, great." Let's anoint someone in my head. I want to feel like a king, like a Kohen Gadol. That's a chiyuv kores. And also malkos. So don't try that. Or obviously the issur applies to when shemen mishcha was around. Whoever is shach b'shemen mishcha outside the boundaries of halacha, you're not a Kohen Gadol inaugurated, you're officiating now. So don't do shemen mishcha. Meaning, if you took your shemen mishcha, which you're not allowed to produce, and you produced it and you smeared it on yourself, that smearing you're not chayav kores. Get that? You're not allowed to produce an imitation of shemen mishcha, an exact imitation, or you're not allowed to smear yourself with the original. But to smear yourself with a Chinese imitation of yours, that you're allowed, but it's not a chiyuv kos, a chiyuv malkos. Next one. A person eats nevela or treifa. Nevela, the animal died naturally or was hit in the head by Tim McKenzie or by Abdul Mahmoud. Ochel nevela, treifas, an animal that was terminally ill before its shchita. Nevelus atreifes, shkotzim elmosim, you eat all kinds of shkotzim elmosim, bugs, cockroaches, v'chulei. So you eat those. That's not just not nice. It's not a chiyuv kores. Back to non-kores. We're skipping kores, non-kores. You're not chayav kores on that. Not a nice thing to do. Isur doraisa, terrible isur doraisa. In each bug you chayav 4, 5, or 6. Depends on the type of bug. We're going to see that in Daf Design. So bugs are very, very dangerous, and you chayav malkos on each one. Can you imagine? Eat a lettuce leaf with like 10 bugs, you have 10, that's 390 malkos. Not worth it. For lettuce, mail for iced coffee. Stop joking. Ochal tevel, Ochal tevel u'maiser rishon shelo nil turmosoi. A person ate tevel, lo leinu, he ate tevel. Tevel is poshut fruit, where maiser wasn't taken. B'chlal, no maiser, no trumas, no nothing. You chayav what? Chayav misa b'dei shamayim, and it's also chiyuv malkos. U'maiser rishon shelo nitlo tromosoi. Maiser rishon is given to who? To Mr. Levi. The Levi received maiser rishon. He is allowed to give it to Israelim. It's not like truma. You're allowed to eat maiser rishon. You are, as opposed to truma. However, wait. You're only allowed to eat the maiser rishon once the Levi gave 1/10 of that to the Kohen. Trumas maiser. Then the Levi can eat it. Everybody else can. But as long as you didn't, what's your story? Chayiv malkos. Okay. U'maiser sheni. Maiser sheni. Aren't you allowed to eat maiser sheni? Where aren't you allowed to eat maiser sheni? Where? Outside Yerushalayim, without pidyon. You have the maiser sheni. You did not do pidyon. You're not chayiv misa b'dei shamayim, but it's an isur d'oraisa. What's the punishment? Well, guess what? Malkos. That's a common denominator between all the maisim here. Malkos. The hekdesh shaloi nifdu. This is very, very, very important. Maiser sheni shaloi nifdu. There was no pidyon maiser sheni, and hekdesh shaloi nifdu. What do you mean you ate hekdesh shaloi nifdu? Meaning you ate fruit. What? Meila, trip to Mexico. Very nice. Meila, this is Meila b'mezid, my friends. Why am I so excited? Because whenever we learn about Meila, we know the Meila, Yuchayv Choymesh, v'chulei v'oshom, right? Meila b'shoigeg. Whenever we talk about Meila, we talk about Meila b'shoigeg. Yuchayv to pay back to the base of Mikdash, plus a fifth, plus you bring a korban. What about Meila b'mezid? Here we're talking about mezid. Who's getting malkos? The common denominator between all those nasty maisim in the Mishnah, it's all b'mezid. Otherwise, there's no malkos. You ate something that belongs to Beis Hamikdash, me'ila b'mezid. What's your punishment? You're chayev malkos. Here we say chayev malkos. Although Rashi says it's a machloikis. Why? Because Rashi brings down before we, let's leave Rashi now. Hekdesh lo nifta. It's very, very important Rashi, because this is like all over. It's a very like shots kind of idea. Hekdesh lo nifta. Look at Rashi towards the end of the Mishnah. I think it's the last or the second to last dibur in the Mishnah. There's no clear warning about eating something that belongs to Beis Hamikdash, funnily enough. So this is the source, says Rashi, I think. The Tanya, Hazid b'meila. Here we are. What happens if you enjoyed meila from Beis Hamikdash? Amazing. You embezzled. You took from Beis Hamikdash with no permission, knowing this belongs to Beis Hamikdash. Rabbi Omer b'misa. Rabbi says you chai misa b'idei shamayim. Nobody kills you. You chai misa b'idei shamayim. Just like who's chai misa b'idei shamayim? The one who eats tevel. If you eat truma or tevel, you eat truma that belongs to Kohen. Everyone knows you chai misa b'idei shamayim. Says Rabbi, same thing regarding hekdesh. You ate hekdesh, mean you moyel. You're eating something belonging not to the Kohen, to Beis Hamikdash itself. Misa b'idei shamayim. The chachamim olim ba'azhora. Chachamim say there's a warning, and automatically what happens when there's a Zara? Malkos. Chachamim say there's malkos, and Rabbi says there's malkos and Misa b'idei shamayim. Yeah, both. Ve'amrina, in my time at the Rabbi, why does Rabbi say what he says? You chayev Misa b'idei shamayim. As yechet chet mitruma. There's a gzera shava, just like by truma, you chayev Misa b'idei shamayim, and it says the word chet. The word chet also applies in Meila, and therefore Meila chayev misa b'idei shamayim. And you also chayev what? Here we see in the Mishnah, malkos. Boom, 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 malkos. The Rabbanon. Why do Rabbanon say that the mezid b'Meila is not chayev misa b'idei shamayim? You get the story? This is very illogical. When you eat truma, you chayev misa b'idei shamayim, according to Rabbanon. When you eat something belonging to Hashem Himself, to Beis Hamikdash, you're not chayev misa b'idei shamayim. You only chayev what? Malkos. Anyways, you chayev malkos. Why is that? The Torah itself excluded, rejected the idea of Misa b'idei shamayim by the Meila. Why? It says umeisu boy veloy b'meila mimisa udemate. Very good. The Gemara says umeisu boy. When it talks about truma, it says if you eat it, there's an extra word umeisu boy. They should die if they eat it. What is it? The truma. Excluding who? Excluding truma's best friend, which is hekdesh. Hekdesh and truma always go together, the gzera shava, right? And therefore, and I won't continue Rashi now because we have a lot on our plate today, but basically, that's the idea. According to Rebbe, you chayev misa b'idei shamayim and malkos. According to Chachamim, you chayev malkos. This is the story of mezid. Very nice. It's meila. Good. Continue. Let's go back to the Mishnah. Kama yoichel min hatevel v'yeh chayev. Baruch atah Adonai. Kama yoichel min hatevel v'yeh chayev. How much tevel should you eat in order to be chayev? Ekazayis, kabetza, koseves agasa. What's the shear of tevel? You chayev malkos for eating. Rabbi Shimon Omer kol shu. Rabbi Shimon says even the minimal amount, even the most minuscule amount, a tiny bit of truma, you chayev from tevel. You chayev if you ate, you chayev malkos. The chachomim omrim kazayis. Chachomim say, listen, kazayis, that's always normal, standard isur. Most isurim chayev bekazayis. Why is Rabbi Shimon saying kol shu? Omar and Rabbi Shimon, don't you agree with me that a person eats an entire ant, yeah, an entire nemol, an entire juk, an entire insect is chayev malkos? Isn't that so? Omuloi, we agree with you, but don't compare it to your story of the tevel. Why? Mipnei kebrioso. That's halacha. You chayev. Let's say there's a nemolo, an entire ant, intact with all the tiny feet and all the disgusting features, yeah, and you ate the whole ant together on the leaf of the cabbage, right? You chayev malkos 39. Why? Because it's kebrioso. It is an intact, full thing the way it was born, right? It's a sholem. It's an entire entity by itself. So even though the nemol is way less than kazais, a small ant is way less kazais as a matchbox. You can have many ants in a matchbox. So although it's much smaller than the regular kazais, because it's kebrioso, the way it was created, full, whole, intact, that's why you chayev. Okay, so what are you talking about? They tell Rabbi Shimon. We are saying that if either kazais, let's say you don't have a whole nemolo, you have a whole mixture of ants and cockroaches all together, protein, yeah? It's all cut up nicely, okay? Ready to eat for you, yeah? Then what? You only have kazais, because it's not intact. But if it's intact, it has chashivus. What's all word of shiur? Chashivus, importance. Because it's whole and intact, it's chashuv, even though it's smaller than kazais. But it has nothing to do with you telling me that a little bit of tomato, a little bit of whatever, tomato is not doraisa, a little bit of a grape, a tiny bit of a grape, you chayev. We don't agree with that. It's not shalom. It's not whole. No, you misunderstood me. When I said you chayev on the kol shehu, on a mashu of the kol shehu of the tevel, I meant an entire grain of wheat. An entire grain of wheat can be very small, right? It's a small grain, right? A small garin, and on that you chayev. You chayev on that. Why? Because it's whole and intact, just like your nemolo. I believe my chita is one and whole thing. It's wholesome and intact as a separate unit. Therefore, you chayev on that midoraisa. What do Chachamim answer? We'll see in the Gemara. Chachamim say no. We disagree with you. Why? And nemolo is a living being, a creature that has its own life and can walk around and do its own thing and schlep around the the kernels. Yeah, then nemolo is an entity of itself because it's bria sheyesh ba neshama. The shenken, the chita, the grain doesn't have neshama. The grain is it's an inanimate object, and therefore you're not chayav on that, according to them, according to Chachamim. That's just the akdama, just the Mishnah. The main point we're going to see today is about the fact that our Mishnah spoke about what? Let's just summarize. We're not going to repeat the whole Mishnah now. And of course, the Mishnah is missing many. Yeah, the Tosfos points of view that it's missing. It doesn't say people who wear shatnez, the chayav malkos, people who do all kinds of wrong things, Beis Hamikdash. Not everything is mentioned here. Only those points that are chiddush for whichever reason. Now, the main chiddush of the Mishnah, at least at the beginning, it's very glaring. The one group is missing in the Mishnah. One group was left out, and that is chayve misos. Yeah, let's say let's talk about the first case. A person had relations with his sister, boom, chayv malkos, and also chorus. What about a person who had lo aleinu? It's as disgusting. He had relations with his mother. What's the punishment? Nothing. You just let him. What? Kila. Very good. And does he get malkos? He doesn't say. He doesn't say he gets malkos, right? We're systematically omitting, rejecting, excluding those isurim which are chayav misa bezdin, misa b'deod, misas bezdin. They're not mentioned in the Mishnah. So the Mishnah here has an agenda. Those things are probably not chayav malkos. It sounds as if the person who has relations with his mother is going to get what? He's going to get skila, but he will not get malkos, even if he was warned that he would get malkos, because warning is very important, does make a difference. Let's see what the Gemara says. Chai v'krisus katani, chai v'misas bezdin lo ktani. The Mishnah only talks about chai v'krisus, mentions chai v'krisus, that chai also malkos, but chai v'misas bezdin are not mentioned, meaning, let's say the person was about to have relations with his mother and he's telling this to his two good friends, he thinks it's very cool, and they said, listen, if you do that, we're going to watch you outside the bedroom, and if you do that, then you're going to get malkos, and you're going to get skila. Sounds like he would not get malkos, because we are not including this, we don't include this maisa in the list of chai v'malkos. Okay, so who does that follow? We're going now to see, and that's going to be with us the entire shiur today, a three-facet machlokas about chai v'malkos that happen to be together with chiyuv kores or chiyuv misas bezdin. Nice and slow, everything will be clear. Masnisin mani Rabbi Akiva here. Our Mishnah is Rabbi Akiva, which means our Mishnah is telling us chai v'krisus are chayiv malkos too. You can be chayiv kores and chayiv malkos too. They coexist nicely. There's no kimle or any of these stories. Mashenkin chayiv misas bezdin and malkos, they don't live together. They can't be together. You chayiv misas bezdin, you don't get malkos. Who is that? It's Rabbi Akiva. Which Rabbi Akiva? Let's see the brisa. We see a brisa with three opinions. The Tanya, it says in the brisa. This brisa you have to know well. You have to know what the brisa says, because the whole Gemara later today and tomorrow is going to be about this brisa. Opinion number one, Rabbi Ishmael, title, Rabbi Ishmael's opinion. Rabbi Ishmael compares people who chayv kores, bidei shomayim, and chayv misas bezdin. Yeshna b'chlal malkos aboim divrei Rabbi Ishmael. Says Rabbi Ishmael, either you chayv b'shomayim, in shomayim after the person's death, they'll punish him to have kores, or they punish him to die early or suddenly, chayv kores. Or the person is chayv misas bezdin, both of them get also malkos aboim. If the Eidim were kind enough to tell them they're going to get malkos, they will get malkos. In other words, tick, tick, meaning malkos coexists with kores, and malkos coexists with misa bidei odom, bidei bezdin. Okay, that is Rabbi Shmuel. Mazel tov, welcome to Rabbi Shmuel. Opinion. That's not our Mishnah, obviously. Because otherwise the Mishnah should have said all the chayv and misa, avodah zarah, mother, all these things. Now, okay, yesh malkos aboim. Div Rabbi Shmuel. By the way, you remember what I said before about Shabbos? The Mishnah doesn't mention Shabbos. Why? The Mishnah doesn't say that a person who's Michal Shabbos is Chayev Malkos. Why not? Because if you Michal Shabbos, you get Misa, you get Skila. And the Mishnah is not like Rabbi Shmuel. That's why the Mishnah missed it. Rabbi Akiva Omer. Opinion number two, Rabbi Akiva. Chayev Krisus Yeshna B'chol Malkos Haboim. If a person deserves Koros Lo Aleinu, he also gets Malkos by Beis Din. Why? Shim Osu Tshuva. Very interesting. Einish kores is not a set in stone kind of thing. Let's say a person did kores, the person ate chiyuv, such an amazing tasty thing. He wanted just once to taste chiyuv and blood sausage with chiyuv. Okay, don't make me puke. But the guy really wants to eat chiyuv and dam. Okay, so exciting. He's in Germany, and that's what he eats over there. And then what? So then he has tremendous hirure tshuva, bad conscience. What can he do? Tshuva. He'll do tshuva, Hashem would listen, real tshuva, mamish, and he's wearing sackcloth. His mamish doing tshuva, and what happens then? Hashem can forgive him. So chorus is not something set in stone, right? And therefore, it could be, although we're not saying that it did, but the Maisa, before you give him malkos on the, what? On the oynish of eating chelav adam, it's shaykh to give him malkos. He's going to get chorus? No. We don't know if it's going to get chorus. Chorus is kind of volatile thing. Because chorus is not something set in stone, you can give him the malkos, and chorus is a separate cheshbon. As opposed to what? Chayv misas bezdin, ein b'chol malkos raboim. A person who deserves misas bezdin, he does not get the malkos raboim according to Rabbi Akiva. Why? Shim osu tshuva ein bezdin shalmata moichlin lohen. When it comes to misa bidei odom, if a person did tshuva too late after the Maisa, that alone does not grant him mechila in Beis Din Shalmata. A person did something that's a chiyuv deoraisa and chiyuv misa bidei odom. He finished the cigarette leil Shabbos, yeah, after Edim and Hasra, and 1,000,000% Edim gave him Hasra, and he said no 3 times, and he smoked it in front of them. Everything is there to be Chayv Misa Bidei Odom, he's Chayv Skila. And then he starts crying, and he's very sincere, and he puts on a big black kippah, and he puts seklo, and he does tshuva. Sorry, too late. You can say that to Hashem, but Lamaisa, he still gets the skila. That he does get. And since Oynish bidei odom is something set, is something which is not flexible, it's not flexible at all, therefore you don't give him 2 punishments. You don't give him the punishment of malkos and also the punishment of death, and that is, remember Mr. Kim is our friend, Kim Lay, that's his last name. Kim Rabbi Minei, according to Rabbi Akiva, applies to 2 punishments since he gets the greater punishment of Misa. He does not get the smaller punishment of Malkos. Even if he was warned about Malkos, it's Shtuyot, there's no Malkos. You get the bigger punishment of death, which is kind of bigger, and you don't get the smaller punishment of the Malkos. This is basically what Rabbi Akiva says. That's his opinion. Meshenkin Kores, of course, Chorus is much worse than Malkos. Chorus is Netzach Netzachim. The guy is in solitary confinement the whole life, the whole death, yeah, which is life. That's very bad. But Lamaisa, Chorus is not, we're going to discuss it later in the Gemara. Chorus is not a done thing. It's manageable, it's flexible, and therefore it's not called Pu'onus. You get 2 Pu'onus. Chorus is a separate cheshbon, and we still give you the Malkos for the chorus that you did, for the Yisrael chorus. That's opinion number 2, that's Rabbi Akiva. Here comes opinion number 3, the third opinion. We are very, very much behind time here. Says the third opinion, Rabbi Yitzchak Oimer, Chayve Krisus Bechlal Hoyu. Rabbi Yitzchak is basically says, I'm going to just spoil it for you. Rabbi Yitzchak says, X, nothing. Both boxes are not ticked. In other words, according to Rabbi Yitzchak, whether it's chorus or Misa Bidei Odom, yeah, you don't get malkos. You never get malkos. Rabbi Yitzchak says you don't get malkos bechlal on any kind of oynesh, any kind of avera that gets a more severe punishment, be it chorus or Misa Bidei Odom. Rabbi Yitzchak Oimer, what's his source? Where does Rabbi Yitzchak take it from? Chayve Krisus bechlal hoyu. Says Rabbi Yitzchak, when you learn the parsha of Arayos, Achemois, Kedoshim, it says over there, there's a general statement of the Torah that includes all different averas, sneers averas, and it says all of them get chorus. They all get chorus. Mother-in-law, dada, zocho, behema, it's all chorus. And then, very nice, bechlal hoyu. All of a sudden, when it comes to sister, the Torah specifically tells us, if you're with your sister, you get chorus. Why do you have to say it twice? I know it already. Yeah, why do you have to say it twice, chorus? Says the Gemara, laduna bekoris veloy bemalkos, which means if the Torah says twice, you get chorus, you get chorus. It comes to exclude something else. What is it excluding exactly? Malkos. Because we know that malkos is always, you have to understand, as I told you many times, malkos is a default punishment, right? Stam as though lav deoraisa, unless it's lav she'en b'maise, or lav anita klase, stam, and now we're dealing with it, we think if it's true or not, but the general shkafa, the conception is that stam as though lav is malkos. If the Torah goes out of its way twice to tell you chorus, you get chorus, comes to exclude the obvious kilu, the assumed, which is malkos. That's how Rabbi Yitzchak is learning. And therefore, he agrees with Rabbi Akiva that the one who is getting the Oynish Beis Din is exempt from malkos because of Kimlei. What about chorus? Chorus is a special pasuk to tell you, do you want Coke or Pepsi Coke? I want Coke. I didn't say no Pepsi. But if I said twice Coke, it means I'm coming to exclude Pepsi, right? Because that's the other option. Here too, what is the chorus comes to tell you not malkos, and therefore malkos are never there. When they're either chorus or Mrs. Beis Din, there's no malkos. That's the third opinion. So Rabbi Shmuel says you get malkos in both. Rabbi Akiva says you only get malkos when it's chorus, not Mrs. Beis Din. And Rabbi Yitzchak says you never get chorus. You never get malkos, neither b'chorus nor b'Mrs. Beis Din. My time at Rabbi Shmuel. Now let's go one by one, and everything will be very, very clear and beautiful. My time at Rabbi Shmuel. What's Rabbi Shmuel's reason for including malkos in both chorus and Mrs. Beis Din? Why is that? So we all know the scary psukim, of the Lolo, the end of Dvorim, right? Okay. My time at Rabbi Shmuel. Yeah, why does Rabbi Shmuel say what it says? Dichtiv. It says in those psukim, Im lo tishmor lasus et kol divra Torah zois. If you don't listen, you don't obey kol divra Torah zois. Kol is a very inclusive word, right? Why didn't you say kol? If you don't listen to the whole Torah, any type, any shape or form of Aveira, you know what's going to happen? Bad. V'ksiv, Iran, Hezbollah, Gaza, Shmaza, Bagatz, v'ksiv, v'hifle Hashem es makoischa. Hashem will be mafli, whatever mafli means. The makos, lashes. Hashem will do a pele of malkos. What does it mean? Although the pasuk seems to not be halachic, but like a Musar pasuk, Rabbi Shmuel is learning halacha l'maisu from the pasuk. And the question is, haflazu en yodamahi. What do you mean Hashem will give us wondrous makos? What do you mean hifli makos? What do you mean by nifla is wonderful? Nifla makos, what do you mean? כשהוא אומר, והפילו ישופט וכל לפניו, הווה אומר, הפלו זו malkosi. Wow. Haflo is compared to hapilu. I think lapil means to make someone fall. And it says, hapilo yashofet v'yikol. When the Torah describes to you how makos are being done, it says the person lies down, the person like is, you know, they make him like fall a bit, yeah? In other words, he's crouched, hapiloi, right? So because the word hapiloi applies to malkos, we see here kind of connection between malkos and what? The ksiv, the previous pasuk, we repeat, im lo tishmor says kol. Get that? Basically, Rabbi Shmuel says as follows. It says, if you don't do any of the mitzvahs, meaning every kind of avera that you do, kol divrei Torah, you're going to get the vehifli makos. You'll get makos not from Hashem. We're not talking only about Hezbollah and Iran and the Houthim and Turks. We're talking here about literally malkos. Any kind of avera gets you the oynish of vehifli vehipil, which is malkos. Very good. Meaning what? Meaning what? That both chores and misa b'dei shamayim, I don't care the type of punishment. Call. Everyone's welcome. All types of averas, they're all included in oynish malkos as well. You get chores, you get misa b'dei odom, and you also get what? Malkos. Here, call everything. Frag the Gemara, you're starting to call. Yachi, if so, chayve esenami. You got me so excited. You so all-inclusive? Yeah, chayve esenami. If so, yeah, why is it that if a person doesn't put on tefillin, yesterday the person didn't put on tefillin, today did. And yesterday didn't. There were two Eidim that were with him the whole day in the office, in the koilel, in the besmelish. He didn't put on tefillin all day. Bemezid. I don't believe in tefillin today. Today's not my tefillin day. Doesn't feel right to me today. Chas v'sholom. What happens then? He's not chayv malkos. He's not chayv malkos. Today's putting on tefillin. There's no point of forcing him. Yeah, he put. Yeah. Why? According to you, he was mevatel and a say doesn't get malkos. Why? You said kol. I thought kol means all 613. So also mitzvah saseh. So by your logic, Rabbi Shmuel, a person who broke a mitzvah saseh, who did not fulfill an aseh, should also get malkos, and that's not true. Lo metzinu zois. Zog the Gemara, no, im loy tishmor ksiv. It says im loy tishmor ksiv. If you don't tishmor, I know lishmor in English would be to obey, to observe, but in halacha, what does lishmor mean? Let's now see how we interpret halachically the words tishmor and how therefore we're going to answer the question of Rabbi Shmuel. Damar appears many times in Shas. It says, Kol mokem shenemar hishomer pen ve'al. Whenever the Torah uses one of the three lashonis, hishomer in English would be beware, or lishmor is to beware of, abstain from. Al, don't. A pen is lest. Right? Pen. Lest you do this and that. Hishomer pen tishkach esetvorim. Pen is lest with an E. Yeah? Hishomer pen ve'al. Whenever the Torah says those lashonos, eno elo loy ta'aseh. So whenever the Torah uses those ambiguous lashonos, it's as if the Torah said don't. The Torah says hishomer v'chule, hishomer pen. It's as if the Torah says loy tirtzach lo tignav lo tinoif. It's the same thing. Loy. If so, the words as inclusive as we are, because we say here im loy tishmor lasos is called lo tishmor lo ta'aseh. Lo ta'aseh are included, but the aseh which are not in hishomer, they're excluded. On mitzvah aseh, there is no malkos, even according to Rabbi Shmuel. But the Gemara is not ready. It's not yet happy. I'm still unhappy with the Rabbi Shmuel. Lav shen b'may senami. Svi said yesterday, a lav shen b'maaseh nami, right? The person does a passive avera. It's a lav. He's breaking a lav shen b'maaseh, right? Let's say it's a lav shen b'maaseh, whatever. There are many exceptions to the rule. No, many exceptions already. Which is lav shen? Not eating the korban, right? Very nice. Okay, lav shen b'maaseh. Here, nice. Lav shen b'maaseh. Lav shen b'maaseh also should be included in malkos, right? And it's not. We know the lav shen b'maaseh is not included, but according to you, any lav is hishomer. Zog the Gemara lasois ksiv. No, it says hishomer lecha, right? Beware, right? Hishomer im lo tishmo lasois. Im lo tishmo lasois, to do. If you don't do anything that is active, or to be more exact, if you do something that's actively wrong, b'yadayim, actively, physically, or maybe sometimes speaking, then you have malkos. Not everything. Frag the Gemara, lav shenita klase nami. Excuse me, but lav shenita klase. We know the lav shenita klase, right? Yeah. Shlucha ken, right? Lo tikach, yeah. And then it says, "Shalach shalach esem." Don't take the kids and send away the mother. Lav shenita klase. If you didn't fulfill it, you don't get malkos. Why? Why? It's an active lav. So if you learn your source of malkos from imlotishmo lasos, you did something active. You took away the chicks while the mother was looking at them, so sorrowful. You did it like that. You snatched the babies from the mother bird. Yeah, you should be chayav malkos. Why aren't you chayav malkos by your token? Answers the Gemara, the final answer, and this is one of the most choshev points in the entire Masechta, my friends. We came to a very, very important point. Get ready. Nami answers the Gemara, Dume de lav de chasima. Very good. As we know, and we'll say again, the standard for what kind of lav are you chayav malkos on is chasima, meaning after the Torah speaks about malkos, the next one in line, the next avera mentioned right next to what should we call it? To malkos, to the act of malkos, is lo tachsum sho b'dishoy. Don't muzzle, don't gag the show, the ox, while it's threshing, while it's working. It's cruel to the animal. And therefore, all other malkos, all other isurim that are similar to this, to muzzling the animal, they get malkos. And those that are different don't get malkos. That's it. And therefore, just like gagging the animal is active, you take the animal and you put it on his mouth, which is cruel, he's about to eat. And also, there's no lavanita klase. It doesn't say there in a say, thou shall, yes, let the animal eat. It doesn't say. And therefore, that's a standard. Why? I don't know. That's what the Torah decided. Mimela, now says the Gemara, now we have a catch-all. Now we have an answer to all the questions, and now Rabbi Shmuel will be perfect. Now we'll summarize everything. Very good. Now all the questions we had before, they fall, they just, fall apart. No questions at all. Let me explain. Now, what did Rabbi Shmuel say? Rabbi Shmuel, we had an issue with Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel, out of all three opinions, the most inclusive. He says both lavim that carry with them Misas Bezdin and Kores, all of them get malkos. Rabbi Shmuel, why are you so inclusive? Well, how do you know all of them are there? You don't care about Kimle and all that, yeah? So Rabbi Shmuel says, no, I have a pasuk. The pasuk is a very inclusive pasuk. Im lotish molasses says, call diva Torah zois. Then Hashem and Bezdin will hifli malkos. They'll lash you on the back. Nice. Oh, now the question was, are you serious? Do you include everything? I say, lavanita klase, lav shen b'masah. No, there's another pasuk who's mitzamtzem. It's a little bit like klal uprat. There's another pasuk which is very mitzumtzam, very constricted. Which one? L'tachsam shor b'dishoy. The Torah gave an example. You know what kind of averis do I include in my super inclusive pasuk? Only averis that are. Here's an example. I'm giving you a sample. Imagine the ox threshing in the barn over there, and the guy cruelly blocked his mouth. That kind of a say, lotas, is what gives you malkos, and therefore automatically it excludes a say, it excludes lav shenita klase and lav shen b'maaseh. Only active lav shelonita klase, he gets malkos. But mitzad the lavim, all lavim are included, meaning mitzad what? Both kores and the one which is Mrs. Bezdin. Ad kan Rabbi Shmuel. That's Rabbi Shmuel. Now let's see Rabbi Akiva. Then Rabbi Akiva. What did Rabbi Akiva say? Remind me, please. Rabbi Akiva said, when do you get malkos and what types of averes, like our Mishnah? Only the averes that carry with them chorus. But the ones that carry with them the oynish of Mrs. Bezdin, oh no, that's bad enough. Mrs. Bezdin, you don't get both malkos and Mrs. Bezdin. That's too bad. Rabbi Akiva, my time, eh? Ooh, this is very, very important here. Here is the posuk that teaches us Kimla B'Adamine. I don't think we saw it in a long time. It says about malkos, about lashing the person, it says kedei rishosoi. Kedei, what's day rishosoi? What's day? Just the right amount, not to exceed. Enough, day. Mishum risha achas at mechayvoi, v'yet mechayv mishum shtei rishoyos. That's a pasuk. You only mechayv a person because of one risha, one bad deed. You're not mechayvim two punishments. Yeah, you're not mechayvim in two punishments. One punishment is enough. He believes Kimle works also like that. You give him Misa, the real death. You don't give him the malkos. Good. Therefore, Mashenkin Chorus, you don't say that. Chorus we'll discuss later. The Rabbi Shmuel, excuse me. Rabbi Shmuel, don't you believe in Kimle? I know you have this nice postuk, very choshuv, but what, don't you see that there's an issue of Kimle? Says Rabbi Shmuel, no. I know about Kimle, but you know what Kimle means by me? Like I told you many times, by the way. Hani mili misa umomoin. When a person deserves both death and money, tell me, how could that be? In one action, is chayv misa and only chayv money to someone. Yeah, he killed someone and tore his shirt. At the same time, the other mafioso was wearing a very nice silk shirt, white, and as the bullet pierced his heart, it also pierced his $500 shirt. Yeah, $500 shirts, right? There's such thing, of course. Yeah. Then what? So now the Yoshim of the other mafioso, they claim, excuse me, you killed their father. You chav misa, chav saif. You also have to pay for the silk shirt, the 500 pounds shirt, right? Yeah, right. Inherits. That's cheap. So then what? So, hey, no, what's halacha? Will he pay for the shirt? Yes or no? Is he going to pay for the shirt in his way to the gallows? No! Kimle! 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 That's Kimle! Kimle! That's Kimle B'Rabbamineh, Misa Mamoin. That's Kimle B'Rabbamineh, my friend. That is it, live and kicking. If you chayv Misa, the very same action with the same bullet, boom, the shirt was 0.5 millimeter from his heart. I mean, whatever, from the skin. Yeah, Beseder. That's Kimle, my friend. This is Misa Mamoin. Therefore, says Rabbi Shmuel, in such a case, you chayv Misa and you not chayv money. Oy malkos u'momin. Let's say a person chayv malkos u'momin. Yeah, in the same action, he's chayv malkos and momin. The same time, yeah, whichever the case was, he's chayv malkos u'momin. You get him off the hook when it comes to momin. Aval misa u'malkos. If a person is chayv both misa and malkos, let's say the person is chayv misa for Chilul Shabbos, and he was warned, you're smoking on Shabbos, you'll get malkos. He's chayv misa and malkos. Why isn't it kimle? Listen to unbelievable svara. Mita arichtahi. It's one long death. Wow. In other words, when you have two different things on two sides of the Yarden, two separate issues altogether, you have money chiyuvim and you have body chiyuvim. Two separate issues. You're going to kill the guy or hit the guy. Don't be mechayev his bank account. But when the guy is chayev, malkos, and misa, it's all one thing. Because we have a concept called hako miktsas misa, also in Shabbos. And therefore, when you hit someone, it's like a mini death. So you kill him a little bit by hitting him, and then you kill him in real time. It's all part of the same subject. It's not two opposing forces. It's all to do with corporal punishment. One is hitting, and then he's killing. Givaldig. That's what says Rabbi Shmuel. In such a case, it's not called Kimle, and that's Rabbi Shmuel for you. And therefore, says Rabbi Shmuel, I stand by what I say. I don't care about. I care about Kimle, but Kimle is a money thing. Here, there's no money. It's just Misa and Malkos. You get both. Very good. And what about Kores? Kol Sheken. Kores even Rabbi Akiva agrees. You get Kores and get Malkos. Rabbi Akiva. We have to finish Rabbi Akiva today at least. Ihochi. According to Rabbi Akiva, according to what you said, what did Rabbi Akiva say? Rabbi Akiva believes that Kimle is what? Also, two types of punishments on the body of the person. Kimle, according to Rabbi Akiva, doesn't mean that if you get corporal punishment, then money is not involved. Rabbi Akiva means, to be very, excuse my childish term, Rabbi Akiva says, you get the big punishment, then I'm mevate on the small punishment. That's basically what he says. Meaning you're going to get killed in a month's time, they'll decide to, behead him. then forget about the silk shirt, or even forget about what? Even about the malkos, not just the silk shirt. Even the malkos, it does get malkos according to Rabbi Akiva. According to that, for the Gemara, is that your logic, Rabbi Akiva? If so, chayv krisus nami. If a person is chayv kores, a person who, let's say, ate the chaylev, chayv kores for eating the chaylev, and you're telling me he's going to get the malkos and also get kores? Kores is a very big punishment. You are giving him a big punishment and a small punishment. Maya Marta, Rabbi Akiva had a ready-made answer already in the Braisa. What did Rabbi Akiva say? Shim osu tshuva. Listen, says Rabbi Akiva. Kores, because he could do tshuva. So because, let's assume he did tshuva, then it's all fine. There's no kores. There's only the malkos. No. Hashtami esloy avdi. Let's say they didn't. He didn't say that, right? In other words, let's say the person didn't yet do tshuva. The person ate chaylev, and he still says, you have any problems in Beis Din? He comes to Beis Din and tells Beis Din, it was yummy. I would do it again anytime, okay? My Rebbe in Cheder hit me. Whatever, yeah, etc. Like, he's not doing tshuva, right? He's chayv kores, and you're still telling me not to give him malkos. Well, he didn't do tshuva. What do you mean he could do tshuva? Who cares? It could. I could become, I don't know, president of Taiwan. No, I can't be. Whatever. It could be all kinds of things that could be. Mazim mishaneh. And says the Gemara, Rabbi Abo, therefore Rabbi Abo is giving us lichoira different pshat. It's a discussion in Rishonim. Says Rabbi Abo, befeu shrib tatoiro chayve krisus lamalkos. Logically, you're 100% right. Logically, you're right. Really, according to Rabbi Akiva, a person who receives kores from Hashem should not get the smaller punishment of malkos. Because Rabbi Akiva sticks to his guns of what? Big punishment means you don't get the smaller one, right? So therefore, if you get kores, logically, you shouldn't have gotten malkos. However, the Torah specifically compares and alleges and connects krisus to malkos. Where do you see that? The Gomar, we have Gzera Shava, le'einei mi le'einecho. Let me explain. It says le'einei about a brother and sister that did what they did, and it's kores. And it says v'nichrisu le'einei bnei amam. They should get kores in front of everybody else of the nation. Meaning people will see that the brother and sister, they die young, they die, some say, without children. In other words, le'einei. The word le'einei appears in the words of kores. And also the pasuk of malkos, the pasuk of the lashes, says le'einecha. V'niklachicha le'einecha. Le'einecha. That's nice. That's a Gzera Shava. Therefore, there's a Gzera Shava. What's a Gzera Shava? Whenever you have kores, you also have malkos. It beats the logic. And we say, yes, although there's kores, you also get malkos on top of that. According to that, chayv misas beis dinami. According to you, you're comparing eine. I'll bring you another Gzera Shava, and that Gzera Shava would compare misas beis din, and a punishment that gets you death by people, by beis din, to what? To malkos. It says nigmerem. It's claiming me'einei mileinecho. It says about avodah zarah. Avodah zarah is definitely misa b'deodom. What do you do to a person who's over avodah zarah? Skila. It says there me'einei ha'eda. If from the eyes of the Eda it was missing, and beis din by mistake allowed to worship avodah zarah. Didn't know it's avodah zarah. It's a pasuk in Parsha Shlach. It says me'einei mileinecha. Oh, look. Here's also Gzera Shava. It says Einei by the Misas Beis Din. It says Leinecha by Malkos. Shidduch. So you, Rabbi Akiva, with your logic, you should agree with the Mishmal that also Chayv Misas Beis Din also should get Malkos. Answers the Gemara, no. Donin le'einei mi le'einecha. Look at the lamed. It goes up. Le'einei mi le'einecha. Then donin me'einei mi le'einecha. Wow. The Gzera Shava has to be very particular, very meticulous. It says le'einecha about kores, but the one of Misas Beis Din, it says einei, and he says le'einecha. Not exactly the same. Correct the Gemara, ma pito, ma'manef kamina, don't be such a yeke. Says the Gemara, who cares if the Gzera Shava is not exactly the same word? I'll show an extreme example, which appears many times in Shas, where we see that Gzera Shava doesn't have to be exactly the same word. Wow. When he talks about the process of tzaras batim, a person that's tzaras in his house, it says v'shava kohen uba kohen. 2 different times the kohen comes to the house. It says here v'shav, and here it says uba. We compare the two times the coin comes. Here it says returned, and here it says he came. It's not at all the same word, but because it means the same, he comes means he comes back. You do Gzera Shava. So Gzera Shavas are not so particular and so meticulous grammatically. The oid, and another question, ligbo, the formula calls A equals B, B equals C, so A equals C. That's a question now. What did you just tell me? You told me that we learn from Chorus to Malkos. Chorus, Malkos are friends. You get Chorus, you get Malkos. Very nice. And what about the Mrs. Bezdin? Out of the game. Why? Now let's do a chain of Gzera Shava. Ligma me'ene mile'ene, right? Right? You should learn me'ene mile'ene. Dagomo le'ene mile'enecha, which means you first of all learned from Gzera Shava from Minikla Achicha le'enecha to le'ene b'nei amam of Kores. Now, eine is similar to eine ha'eda of the eine, as opposed to einecha, is similar grammatically if you daf going to be a yeke. So now we compare Kores to Mrs. Bezdin. A equals B, B equals C. We have Malkos compared to Chorus, and Chorus compares to Mrs. Bezdin. Voila. So Mrs. Bezdin, again, same question, Rabbi Akiva. According to you, Mrs. Bezdin should have Malkos like Rabbi Shmuel. Answers the Gemara, and this is the final answer for today, Rabbi Akiva, and that's a good punchline. Kibla minei Rabbi Shmuel bar Rabbi Yitzchak, kidei rishosoi, mishum risho achas at mechayiv, aviat mechayiv mishum shtei rishoyos. Listen to this. Berisha mesur lebeis in the course of medaber. Very good. Which means when the Torah tells me about Beis Din who lash a person, and it says to Beis Din, you human beings, you're human beings. I gave you power of punishment of human beings. Give him one risha. Give him one punishment and not two. That's within the realm of human punishments. That's where Kimle is mentioned. But in the realm of Kores is not something up to us. We don't give Kores. Hashem gives Kores. As Rabbi Kiva said, he can do tshuva. That's between him and Hashem. Hashem will take him early, or Hashem will just, put him in solitary confinement, l'olam haba, which is terrible. That's Hashem. Hashem's punishments are not part of Beis Din. And therefore, even though the person gets punished by Hashem by Kores, my name is Mr. Dayan, I work in Beis Din. Kores is not Bidei Odom, nothing to do with me. It's not my risho. It's Hashem's punishment. And therefore, when there's Kores, there's a parallel punishment of Malkos. Masha'enken, when I'm the Dayan and I'm the person to get skila because of Shabbos, I will not get to get Malkos because I give him the big punishment, meaning the big human punishment. We added one word to the formula. When there's a big human punishment, then there's no smaller human punishment, right? No malkos when there's misa. But when there's a chorus, I'm not a Kabbalist. I don't know what chorus is. Nothing to do with me. I'm a regular, nice Litvish Dayan. I work within the realms of Beis Din. In Beis Din, he didn't get any other punishment. Chorus. It's up to Hashem. As far as I can see, he did something that gets him what? Malkos. He was warned, if you're with your sister, if you eat the blood sausage, you'll get what? Malkos. I'll give you Malkos. He gets chorus, none of my business. That's Hashem's business. How do I know that? That's what is learning. Rish Osoi, the Rish of Beis Din, the punishment of Beis Din, punishment of Hashem and the punishment of human beings are two separate things. That's according to Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Shmuel doesn't believe in it. Rabbi Shmuel says no. Rabbi Shmuel says because it says in the Pasuk, Kol, the Pasuk, the Pasuk, the Teichoch at the end of Dvorim, over there, in Kisovoi, it says very clearly, all the bad things you do will get you Malkos, including divine punishment. You also get Malkos Be'odom. That's Rabbi Shmuel. That's very nice. So according to Rabbi Shmuel, let's summarize. Rabbi Yitzchak, tomorrow. Rabbi Yitzchak is the third opinion, but the two opinions we dealt with today are who? Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Shmuel says whether the punishment is Misa B'dei Odom or Chorus, you get Malkos. And according to Rabbi Akiva, if you get Chorus, you get Malkos. If you get Misa B'dei Odom, you don't get Malkos. Questions and comments are more than welcome. Tomorrow, no, but so then I'll have to prepare Shiur for Wednesday. I have to know when. Okay, Wednesday Shiur, Karogil, Bezos Hashem, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, Thursday. Hopefully big changes will happen on Tisha B'Av for the good, not for the bad. It says, I'm not a big believer in all these 21 years old rabbis on the internet that have all these nevuas. But it does say in the Novi that when Ishmael and Esav come together to Eretz Yisrael, that's Mefurosh. That is the coming of Mashiach. That is Gog and Magog. The American, America, they brought a thing to Cyprus. No, they brought boats to fight. No, also no, a carrier. No, how do you call it? Aircraft carrier. They brought here. No, that's all it's told. I think so. No, they're prepared to fight Iran. So Ishmael and Esau are coming together. Bezos Hashem. No, not fighting. No, but it says when they fight, it's the end of days. No, Mefush Novi. I don't remember, but I saw it. Mefush 100%. I saw it a few times. Atzlocho bracha to everybody on YouTube. All we can do before Mashiach is what? Learn Torah and do Chasadim. That's the only thing to do.